Hello there and welcome to ADcraft. In today's tutorial we're going to be showing you how to build this musical snow globe in your world and then show you what it looks like in the vanilla textures and with the shader pack on. So don't go anywhere and we'll get on with the build. So let's cover the block palette. First of all, we'll be using purple for the main base of it, but you can use any base block you want. You might want to use dark prismarine or red nether brick, but for this you'll need about 2 to 3 stacks. Then you'll also need half a stack of the stairs of that variant. Then with the ice and the note blocks you'll need about 16 of each. You'll need 16 repeaters, a couple of redstone dust, a redstone torch, a button of any type. I've chosen stone. Then you've got 5 to 6 stacks. I've got the white stained glass, but you can use clear if you haven't got any white dye or light grey. Then some snow for the inside, a few scaffolding, and some torches to light this up. Once you've built the snow globe, it's entirely up to you how you decorate the inside, but I'm going to build a Christmas tree, so using the spruce logs and the spruce leaves, then some glowstone and some cobwebs, and then some decorations and ornaments for the tree, which I'm going to be using some walls. Then I'm going to be building a candy cane and also a sledge using a fence gate and some trapdoors, some chocolate, which is the dark oak trapdoors, then a north pole, which is the red nether brick and the diorite walls, a sign and some dye so that it shows up, and then for a star on top of the Christmas tree, some end rods and a glowstone block. Now the entire build is going to be based around a circle, so we're looking at a 17 diameter circle here, so 17 from side to side and from top to bottom, but we are going to be coming in a little bit just from the outside of that circle. There'll be a world download as well in the description so you can see the exact dimensions and the shape and size that we're building. So firstly we're going to be building the base of this snow globe, and for this we're going to come in 2 blocks from the edge, and we're going to place a center block here and come out 2 blocks either side, so we've got 5 gap total. Then we're going to start by coming out 2, and then we're going to come across 2, and then we've got the 5 on this side, and we're going to repeat that the rest of the way round. When the circle's built, dig down 1 block inside. So to create the redstone musical part of this build, what we're going to do is place a button in the center in the middle. Then on the back of that we're going to place a redstone torch with a spot of redstone dust beneath that. Then we're going to start placing out the blocks that the note blocks are going to go on, and we're actually going to place out 16 of these. Now you can arrange them in any way that you like, as long as you make sure that there is exactly 1 gap between these blocks. And we're going to be using the packed ice because that gives the most Christmassy noise, but if you don't have packed ice you can use other things, so for example gold works, but for me packed ice was the best one. We're then going to place the note blocks on each of these, and then after that we're going to go around with the repeaters, and again we're just going to place a single repeater facing from each one into the next, and we'll deal with the notes in a second once we've got all of these in place. And there we go. As you can see, it's a nice Christmassy noise that you're getting from each one. So now in terms of tuning these note blocks, I've put some useful signs to show you what they are. Obviously these will be here in the world download as well. So the first one we're looking for a G, which is 1 hit. Then we've got 4 ticks on this repeater. Then a C, which is 6 hits. And then 4 ticks again. The one in the corner is again 6 hits, and then 2 ticks. Then a D, which is 4 hits with 2 ticks, a C, which is 6, 2 more ticks, a B, which is 5, 2 more ticks, an A, which is only 3, and then you've got 4 ticks there next to it, and then an A again, which is 3 with 4 more ticks, a third A, which has got 4 ticks, and then a D with 8 hits and a 4 tick repeater, another D which is 8, 2 ticks, an E which is 10, 2 ticks again, a D again which is 8, 2 ticks again, a C in the corner which is 6 hits, 2 ticks again, a B, which is 5 hits, then 4 ticks before the final one, which is a G, which is just your 1 tick. And what I've done is I've taken the redstone out here, so when we put it back, it'll play for us. So that gives us the notes that we need and the tune. So the next thing we're going to do to finish the inside of this is we're going to find the middle, which is 3 blocks in there, 3 blocks in there, and place 3 scaffolding up. So that's going to give us a way into the snow globe if we want it. We're going to then cover that with snow, and then we're also going to make sure that no mobs spawn in here, and being very careful not to hit the note blocks. Just pop some torches through in these gaps in order to make sure nothing spawns. The other thing about this is it stops any light updates from the repeaters and makes sure that actually there's no lag coming from this device. So once we've done that, the next thing we're going to do is actually fill in some of the blocks around this and start building the globe itself. We're going to build up a layer of stairs on the purple blocks around the outside, making sure that we cover off the corners as well, and making sure that all the stairs connect up to give us a nice pattern. Then we're going to go with a layer of purple blocks on the inside and finishing that off with a layer of snow blocks right the way through to the middle. Now for the actual building of the snow globe, what we're going to do is all of these 4 blocks that we just placed, we're simply going to come round and place a stained glass, whichever colour you've chosen. I've got white here, on top of each of these to form the base, and then we're going to go into how to actually build this sphere, or the visible part of the sphere itself. So now we're going to build up the actual shape of the circle itself. So we're going to come up 2, then up 3, then up 2, and across 2, and then across 3 again at the top, and then repeat that on the other side. I find that actually building the entire circle's shape is much easier when it gets to actually completing the circle and you make fewer mistakes. And as you can see, that's what it looks like. Now we've built one ring to show what the sphere is going to look like. We're going to then build the other sides of this sphere, and then we're also going to go around and put the band around the middle. That will make it then easier to connect up the different parts of this sphere later on, and actually make sure that everything is as it should be. So the easiest way that I've found for completing a sphere and making sure all the glass is in the right place is actually creating shapes. So what we're going to do is take each of these crosses that is on each of the sides, and we're going to go and we're going to fill each of them in with a square like that. So the next shape that we're going to build is, for each of these sides, we're going to come out 2, and then we're going to come out 2. So what we've got here is a single block in the corner and going all the way around. So come down 2 and again, and then come out 2 each side, and repeat that all the way around, and then just make sure that that shape is represented in all of the other sides. Once we've completed that shape all around the sphere on all sides, we're going to carry on to the next part, which is going to be coming out all the way round and surrounding this by a single block, but then having a 3 wide space at the top, well, at each of the points here. So we've got 3 coming across the middle, and I'll zoom out in a second to show you the shape once this is done. But yeah, definitely by creating these actual shapes themselves, when you do combine them and match them up, it just means that it's much easier to spot when you have made a mistake. So there we go, and we'll repeat that again all the way around. As an example, I've left a gap here, so you can see your brain's really good at detecting patterns. So it's easy to see, oh, there's a block that's missing here. easy to go and fill that in. And once you've completed all the sides, you'll be able to see that you have exactly the same shapes in the corners as well that are waiting to be filled in. Now we're going to fill in one of these corners and then repeat that. At this point, it's worth noting it's probably worth breaking a block in the middle or somewhere around here so that you can actually find your way out and get out. So what we're going to do for each of the corners is, for these ones, we're going to come in to here and we're going to do that 3 times, and that gives us a space left like this. And then it's as simple as filling this in with a block from each of the sides, and then you have your finished interior, and we'll repeat that, like I say, 8 more times. So I'm just completing the last of these corners here. I'll show you one from the bottom just so you can see how that's done. So you just place the block and then come into, obviously if you're doing this in survival, you might want to be placing these spacing blocks as something like dirt rather than actually glass and then having to silk touch that. But now, as you can see, you've got your space here. I filled in the hole here because we can actually leave now through the base. But this is your completed sphere. I'll just quickly show you from the outside. So looking at this from the outside, now that you filled in all the sides, you can see that it does look great. You can see the curve beautifully around there, and it gives you a nice big space on the inside to actually start filling in with the decoration. So I'm going to whiz through some of the decorations individually, not do a block by block, because you can put anything that you like inside this. So firstly, I've just built a little Christmas tree here. We're going to fill some snow layers in, so it's got a 2-high base, and then as you can see the design, you've got the inverted T's there and then some decoration. Again, do these how you'd wish, but that's going to be the main thing in here. Next we've got some chocolate, which is some dark oak trapdoors placed back to back so it looks a bit thicker, and a sledge, which is some spruce trapdoors on top of a couple of open spruce fence gates. Next I've put in a classic candy cane design, which is great because it also gives off some light and lights up the interior of this. The last thing you want is some creepers spawning in here. So the final touch for inside here on the floor is I've added a north pole in there with a lantern on top, again to help with a bit of lighting. This isn't completely mob proof in here, but it's pretty good. So I've done that and then just added a liberal amount of snow layers. As you can see, when you add these around this, it really does look like a sledge. The only things to then do is you can then shift and add a snow layer, and if you have one single snow layer on top of scaffolding, you can still crouch and go through it. The final thing will be to actually get some of these cobwebs and start placing them just randomly in the air as some snowflakes. Now putting on the vanilla textures again, you can see what it looks like once you've added all of your snowflakes inside and closed up your access way. It does look great with those textures, and of course anytime, let's not forget that if you want to, you can make sure you get a little bit of a Christmas tune to bring some cheer to your world. Now with the shader pack on, you can see that this does look brilliant, especially when surrounded by other festive builds, so please do check out the other videos in the series if you haven't already. And with that, please do leave a like and a comment. It really does help the channel, and above all, subscribe so you don't miss any future updates, which I'll also be posting video updates on Twitter at ADcraft, so make sure you follow me there as well. And with that being said, thank you for watching the video and see you next time on ADcraft.